I want to share with you a step-by-step method to design a very intentional, productive, and fulfilling year ahead. I said before, this is my personal practice. It's the one, in fact, I am dedicating next weekend. It's going to be partially Saturday, partially Sunday, to complete this model that I'm going to share with you. And I thought it would be really useful. Step one always is for me, before I try and visualize my 2025, I will celebrate my wins from 2024. I call this celebration inventory. And so I want you to write down every single win, big or small, personal, professional, it doesn't matter what area or every area from this past year, because this is how you set up yourself mentally, emotionally. So as I speak, I even invite you to start writing down whatever comes up to your mind that you consider a win. It truly is important to set your mind first into realizing that, hey, I've achieved a few things, right? And you might think in different categories. You might think, let's think about some personal wins. Maybe this year you spent more time with people you love. Or maybe this year you worked out consistently. Or maybe this year you prioritized yourself and your self-care. And those are all wins. And maybe you want to think about business wins. Maybe you launched your course, or you got your first client, or you doubled your revenue, or you started a business. Maybe you want to think about growth and think about what new skills have I acquired last year? What lessons did I learn? You want to think about spirituality. You want to think about community. You want to think about the people you have helped. You want to think about milestones. So maybe you went to that dream vacation that you had on your bucket list, or you published a book, or you, I don't know, you did your first onstage thing, or you got promoted, or you quit your job. And maybe that's a milestone. Whatever comes through your mind, this exercise begins with you making an inventory of your wins from 2024. That's step number 2, and I want you to write it down. Here's where you define your vision for 2025 as a very, let's say, warm-up exercise. So it's a very short paragraph. Think of this as a warm-up exercise for what will come next. And so let me actually share something. Can you see the phrase there? By the end of 2025, I am living a life where, insert vision, I feel, insert emotion, and I'm proud of, insert achievement. So maybe you could say something like, by the end of 2025, I've successfully launched my online business. I feel financially free and very connected to my loved ones, and I'm proud of the impact I'm making. So I'll give you a moment to complete this sentence. Remember, it's just a warm-up, so you're just doing it to get your juices flowing for 2025. One paragraph, one short paragraph. By the end of 2025, I am living a life where this is true, this is real, this is happening, and this makes me feel grateful, empowered, confident, and I am proud of whatever that is. And what we're going to do now is something that many of you might know, but let's do it again. And it's called the Wheel of Life. And so it's a very simple and also powerful exercise to give you clarity on the different areas of life. Because of course, when we're thinking about our ideal 2025, I know it's not only work. And I know that because if you have dived into the online course industry, it's because you are definitely looking for balance and harmony in different areas of your life, right? And so there's many ways to do this, but this one is one I really like. So look at my beautiful circle. Voila. There we go. And now we're going to divide our circle into 3 pieces. There we go. And now we're going to call our first piece, we're going to call it work. And our second one will be relationships. And our third one will be health. And now we're again going to divide our work part into 3 more slices. And there we go. And slice number 1, we'll put money. And slice number 2, we'll put mission. And slice number 3, we're going to put growth. Money meaning how much money, how are we doing on the money front of our work life? Mission being how connected am I to my mission? Am I feeling vibrant, alive, full of ideas? Do I understand where I'm going? Do I have a vision of the mission? And growth is, am I growing? Am I growing fast enough, or how fast am I growing to make that mission and vision come true? And then we're going to do something with that, but just so you know what we're talking about. And then we're going to do our relationship part. We're also going to divide into 3. And we're going to have a slice for romance. Yes. And we're going to have a slice for family. Family, whether that's children or, parents or whatever that is. And we're going to have a slice for friends. And now I'm writing upside down, so bear with me. Friends. And those are self-explicative, so they need no explanation. And then health, again, we're going to have our 3 slices. And we're going to have a slice for body, and one for mind, and one for spirit or soul. And now that we have this, what are we going to do with this? Well, you're going to rate yourself. So for each one of these segments, you're going to rate your current alignment on a scale from 0 to 10. This is not about beating yourself up. We're just taking inventory, right? And it's totally normal that if you've been, let's say, the last 12 months, you've been diving deep into business, maybe some other areas like maybe your physical body or time with friends have been kind of, not so strong. That's okay. That's okay. We're just taking an inventory to see how we want our 2025 to look like. And first, in order to do that, we need to know where we're standing right now. And so what we're going to do now is you're going to put a number from 0 to 10 in each one of these segments. So for me, this year, I'm going to put an 8 on money. We did pretty well there. Mission to me is a 10. I've been super, super connected to mission. And growth, I will put a 6. We have not been able to grow at the speed we want because we have a constriction in our team, which we're working on next year. Romance. If I'm honest, I'm going to put a 5. It could be a 4 because I love my husband very much, but it hasn't been a year where we've been doing lots of romantic stuff. Family is a 9. We've spent lots of quality time together. Friends, for me, for example, friends, see, this is another area, that's a 4. I have not paid enough attention to my friends this year. Body is a 6. Mind, I've been doing lots of mind work. I'm going to give myself a 9. And spirit, I think I want more this year. So it's a 7 for me. This is fast. Of course, you can take more time. And a fun thing to do here too is to even go ahead and shade the areas. So you kind of have a visual of where you're strong. And you also kind of have a vision of where you're not so strong. There we go. And see, the wheel of life starts revealing some information. There, we finish our beautiful coloring. What we get here is information. This is just an inventory. Now, once you have this, Another thing I like to do is I call them my top 5. My top 5 are my 5 key priorities for this year. I also call them my known negotiables, my personal Mount Everest, for those of you who like sports. Those 5 things that, if achieved, will make 2025 a great year for me, a breakthrough year for me. Maybe you say, one of my absolute top goals this year is hitting 50K in revenue. Okay, write that down. If you have a revenue goal and it is one of your top 5s, go ahead, write it down. Maybe one of your top 5s is freeing up time to spend all your afternoons with your children. I'm sharing one of my top 5, because this past year I have not done that. I've been so focused in work that even though they are my absolute priority, many times they come back from school and I'm still working for a few hours. That needs to go in 2025 for me. Maybe it is for you, it is also dropping 10 kilograms and working out 3 times a week. Maybe it's finally creating the evergreen business that really runs almost everything on automation. Maybe it is taking your family to that dream vacation. And so write down, and if you already, as I'm speaking, you already have some clarity of your big 5 non-negotiables, your top priority, the 5 things that would make 2025 a year that you say, this one goes in the books. And the great thing about having your top 5 ready is that it's easy to say no to this. It's easier, not easy. It's easier to say no to distractions. What do I do to have this ready for me at all times? I will organize my work entire year, in something that I call year at a glance. It's a single page. I learned this from Ali Abdaal, and I absolutely love it because it gives me so much focus. And so I use calendars and planners and stuff. But what I need to see to really be focused on what I'm doing, where I'm going, and to stay on track is to have a global vision of my entire year. And so what I will do is I will establish one milestone per month, the one big thing that I want to have done by the end of that month. And then I will organize my entire month around it. And what you have here is the entire month, as you see, 30 or 31 days for each month. And we have the Saturday and Sundays are colored differently. And so what I like to do, let's say you have found your niche and you've found your avatar and you've gone through the program once to learn it. And now you want to organize your coming months. And you say, okay, January 2025, what do I do? Well, what this could look like is that, for example, you say, okay, January is my month to create my webinar. It's the month of the webinar, meaning January 31st, my webinar needs to be finished, up and running. And so the entire month of January will be a reflection of that one milestone. And then maybe February is my month for all the landing pages optimization. And then maybe March is my pre-launch month. And so all of my month will reflect that is the milestone for the month. And then maybe I say, well, April is my beta testing program. And I start delivering it. And then maybe June is I review and refine. And maybe July is my official big launch. And then August is the end of the launch. And then September is I'm delivering my first open program. So what I want to say with this, and I'm still admitting people into the call, is it truly, for me, it was so changing to have this full year view. It has made such a massive difference in my way of organizing time that sometimes we enter our year wishing for the best. And maybe we're organized for the first couple of weeks because, we have the new year, new you energy. And so we're all organized and we're using Excel and Google Calendar. And then by February or March, we're like starting to feel, where am I going? What should I be working on? And so this is a way of always knowing, what am I working on? What will I be working on next month? How will my entire year look like? And then what you want to do is you want to, again, chunk it down. See, we're chunking down our big goal. I want to have my online business launched, ready and profitable by December 2025. Awesome, big goal. Then what we're doing is we're looking at the 12 months we have in the year, and we're organizing and we're spreading out our work with one big milestone per month. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab that month. So we're going to go to January and we're going to go week by week. And so this is what I use. And I know it's going to look like I'm a mad woman. So it looks like I'm crazy, right? That's my weekly calendar for this week. But if you see it closely, and I don't know if you can read, but what I include are my non-negotiables. And so you will see I have a 1.5 hour block every day that says wake up and deep inner work. That's my time for myself. And then I have another entire block for my kids' breakfast. And then I have hours planned already for homework and stuff with the children and dinner and bedtime, and everything is there. And then I will very consciously use my blocks of time for work-related things. And what this gives me is intense clarity and focus on, instead of, when you're an entrepreneur and you start your Monday morning saying, okay, what do I work on today? I have so much time. Now, when you have fit everything that matters to you in your ideal week, and this reflects the time where you go to the gym, the time where you cook your meals, the time where you spend time doing homework with your children, the time when you spend time walking with your partner or having coffee with them, then you see that you don't really have that much time, right? And so I think this is it's a good practice of putting your priorities in your schedule, because that's the only way that you know that this will actually happen. And so as a wrap up, as we get clear on what we want for 2025, first thing, get clear on what you want. Spend time, take an entire day off, put some music on, go on to nature, remove yourself from your usual space. That if that's your house, go away. If it's your office, go away for an entire day. Most people do not have clear goals and dreams. They have general feelings of, something they wish to experience. And so they cross fingers and they drink champagne on the night of December 31st, and they hope for a beautiful, 2025. And they say things like, I want to be happy, or I don't want to be broke anymore. But, do you actually take the time to define it? Do you actually take the time to define what does happiness look like? Or what do I have to do to not be broke anymore? Well, you need to have a vision for it. So by all means, take the time, and by all means, write it down. After all the designing and all the visualizing and all the wonderful getting in the tune, you need to transform it into a plan. And you turn it into a plan by looking at the entire year and understanding we have 12 months and making one priority for each month. A goal without a plan is just a wish, said Antoine Saint-Exupéry in The Little Prince. I totally agree. And so all you got to do is now break down the yearly goal into monthly goals and then break them down again into weekly goals. Now, the most important part of this whole process, regardless of what tool you like to use for productivity, the most important part of all is that you actually believe that you can do this. You need to believe that you can do this. Because whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right, said Henry Ford, right? You see, half of my job here is to convince you guys that you can do this. It's half of my job. The other half is teaching you the technical part. But 50% of this is you actually convincing yourself that you can do this. And also remember that you don't need to be 100% confident to take action. You don't need to be. None of us entered this space saying, I'm going to be the next online hit. I'm going to be making $200,000 on my first launch. Just watch me. No one. We all entered this space saying, what the heck am I doing here? What am I doing here? Who am I trying to fool? And so you don't need to be completely confident. Confidence is a muscle. You will always hear me say this, that gets stronger whenever you face something that scares you or that you think, oh my gosh, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. But you put one foot in front of the other and you do it. And then what? And then you need to take consistent action. And so if I ended my speech here, it would be a little bit of wishful thinking in a way, because then the year starts. And then you need to really think that motivation will not last. It won't. I mean, and when they call me, oh, you're the expert in motivation, I'm like, I like to think more of I'm the expert in commitment. Motivation will not last. And so what happens with our big lofty goals and our dreams and desires, which are all wonderful, it happens that after we're no longer motivated by them, well, we slowly start slacking off, and we slowly start entering procrastination. And as you know, procrastination has nothing to do with being lazy. Procrastination is, I know what I gotta do, but I'm not doing it. And many times I'm not doing it, sometimes because I'm overthinking, sometimes because I say I have no time, and it's not really I have no time, I have no focus for this. And sometimes I say, there's so much to do, and I just don't feel like doing all of it. You won't. You will not feel motivated the whole year. That's for sure. I know I won't be motivated the whole year. But we can stop wishing for the motivational fairy to arrive at our doorstep or in our laptop and knock on our screen and say, hey, I'm here. You didn't want to rewrite that landing page Florencia told you to rewrite? Here's motivational fairy. Let's rewrite. It won't happen. It won't happen. She does not exist. But we can stop waiting to feel motivated, and we can start creating motivation. How do we create motivation? By making a commitment. But there's a huge difference between being interested in something and being committed to something. You see, when you're interested in something, you rely on motivation. I'm interested in this topic now, so I'm Googling about it, I'm talking to my friends about it, I'm scrolling on Instagram because I'm interested in this. But the moment the motivation leaves, out the window, let's grab a new interest. Commitment is completely different. Commitment is based on discipline. And my favorite definition of discipline is doing the thing you said you would do when the initial motivation you felt is no longer there. I love it. Doing the thing you said you would do when the initial motivation is no longer there. Or do not try to achieve your goals in 2025, but instead try to be committed. Have that as your goal. Instead of being, I want to be making X amount of money, that's okay. That's an okay goal. That's acceptable. But go deeper. Go to the one goal that will make the rest of the goals doable, achievable, and real. Make your goal be committed. Make 2025 about being committed. I can promise you, your life will completely transform. Now, here's a secret with commitment. Do not make 150 commitments for 2025. I mean this. Go back to your top 5 things. The 5 things you said, these are my priorities. These are the 5 things that would make 2025 incredible for me. Commitment is, I will do it even on the days that I don't feel like doing it. Commitment is, I will persevere even if there are obstacles that come my way. I will not fall into the trap of believing that whatever is not an instant success is a failure. That is not true. That's BS from social media. That's not true. Commitment is also reframing any setbacks you've had as part of your building phase. And a great way to stay committed, and that's one of the reasons we created the private community, is having a community, a support group that helps you hang in there on your tough days, that helps you celebrate your milestones, that keeps you motivated, that you can talk to. And so that's why it's a fabulous community, that the one we're creating. And congratulations to all the new members who are jumping in and understanding the vibe that we're creating here. I come and speak from my heart. I always spend quite a bit of time deciding what should I speak about. And I always ask myself, what would I like to listen to right now? What is the right message for right now? So I really hope that the whole message I've given today about designing your perfect or your ideal, because perfect to me is only God, but your ideal 2025, the one that would make it a really special year. I hope you really take this to heart. I hope you spend a day or two. I will be doing it this weekend. I will be completing mine this weekend. So if you guys do it, cheers.